Jnanam asangmoha khama sattang damas samaha sukhang dukkhang bhavo bhavo bhayancha bhayamevacha ahimsa samata tusti stapodanam jaso jasa bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva prithag vidha maharshaya sapta purve chattaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata jesang lokha imang praja etang vibhuting yogancha mamo jo vetti tattata so vikalpena yogena yujjate natra sangsaya aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravattate iti matta bhajante mang budha bhava samannita.
Okay, I'd just like to read that translation once again to remind ourselves what we were discussing last time. I am Krishna, the sweet absolute, the origin of all. The entire universe of material and transcendental play, activity, purpose, and the Vedas and allied scriptures which give guidance, all evolve from me alone. Realizing this hidden treasure, persons of fine theistic intelligence surpass the mundane and embrace the path of love divine, Raga Marg, and adore me forever. Okay, then we're going to move on to verse number 9 today. Okay, so this is the second of the chapter shloki.
Matchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kadhayantascha mang nittam tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
Okay, so as usual, together we will chant this verse. Makchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Sachiji, do you want to read that?
Always thinking of me, those surrendered souls converse about me, enlightening one another with the nectar of their devotional realizations, ever content and ecstatic in their divine natures.
So this verse is very, very beautiful. And we've heard it quoted many, many times by Srila Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And Srila Gurudev, he also revealed that in that famous conversation that took place between Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, when they were speaking like for 3 hours or something, and then afterwards, I think it was Achyutananda Prabhu, one of Srila Swami Maharaj's disciples, asked him, what were you talking about? Like, for so many hours, they were speaking in Bengali, and it was obviously very relishable conversation, but Achyutananda couldn't follow anything, so he asked him, and Srila Swami Maharaj, he gave that famous response that if I were to tell you, you would faint. This is so far beyond the realm of your understanding. It would just blow your mind. You can't begin to understand this. It would be too much for you. And so Gurudev, he revealed that this was one of the things they were discussing, and that Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he gave a very deep explanation of this verse, which is included here. We can hear that now. It's interesting because Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he gave Bhagavad Gita as it is, and he gave a certain level of understanding there. But it didn't mean that there is some deeper meaning possible there, and also that he himself appreciated. He understood something deeper, but he was presenting something of a certain level, And he would always consult with Srila Sridhar Maharaj, discuss with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And so all of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's very profound insight into Gita and other, scripture. Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he was well acquainted with that. But he was, for the safety, we can say, of persons of a more, Kanishta level, he was not going too deep, So we can hear Srila Sridhar Maharaj's explanation. In particular is this word ramanti, indicating the pleasure of consorthood, Madhura Ras. That in discussion of Krishna, in discussion of the glories of the Lord, that these devotees of this caliber, fully surrendered souls, they get that type of ecstasy in their discussion. Commentary. The Supreme Lord Krishna is speaking about his pure devotees. I am in the heart of their hearts, in their every thought. Their entire energy, their whole life is dedicated to my satisfaction. They converse with one another about me and experience mutual enlightenment. They always love to talk about me with whoever they meet, and nothing else. For every time, place, and circumstance, I am the only subject of their discussion. They find very much satisfaction in this, tushyanti cha. Up to the divine relationship of parenthood, there is the feeling of satisfaction. Furthermore, ramanti cha, just as a wife enjoys a conjugal relationship with her husband, the devotees similarly feel such ecstasy in my intimate company when speaking about me. This has also been mentioned by the previous acharyas. And so this verse is and we can see why it's been quoted so extensively, because so many things are highlighted here, Jai Shishi Guru Ranga Radha Kirit Hadiju. So many things are, highlighted. One, very simple fundamental point is the joy of sadhu sangha, the joy of association. Persons who are on the same path, following the same ideal. It is a very, it's a very wonderful thing to be able to exchange realizations and, teachings, understanding, to discuss these things amongst like-minded persons. It is very joyful and very supportive of one's attempts to progress in spiritual life. And also that it's also been pointed out. I believe one of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's godbrothers, I think it might have been in those talks in the festival that was held 10 days after Srila Sridhar Maharaj left the world. And many of his godbrothers, Srila Gurudev held this festival at the Mat, and many of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's godbrothers were present, and they glorified
10 days?
10 days after Srila Sridhar Maharaj left the world. It's some tradition, Then there was this festival held in his honor, and many of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's godbrothers were present, and they all spoke, glorifying him. And as I recall, one of Srila Sridhar Maharaj's godbrothers, they glorified him, referring to this verse, because Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he was famous for his Hari Katha, right? He such profound and sweet Hari Katha he gave, and unique. That was one comment they made about him, that he would say things that it's not that they were like totally different. They were things that were in line with the teachings that they were already familiar with, that their gurus had given. However, something new and something fresh. Not like something, just completely different, like in the same line, but at the same time something fresh and new was there. So this godbrother, he glorified Srila Sridhar Maharaj, saying that his His Harikatha was so sweet and so relishable. And why? Because he was fully surrendered to his Guru Maharaj. Because the nature of these devotees is qualified with this mak chitta madgata prana, that their whole life is me. Everything is me. Their whole consciousness is absorbed in me. Katayantascha mamnit, and they're always talking about me. They're fully dedicated to me. They're always thinking about me, and they're always talking about me. Kai, man, vak. Bodily, mentally, verbally. And this is very beautiful, this bodhayanta prasam. They're enlightening one another. This beautiful exchange is going on. And another thing that comes to mind is one verse of one famous verse. How does it begin? Everyone knows this verse. Gurudev quoted it so many times, saying that it's spoken by Lord Narayan, and he's saying that. How does it begin? Naham tishtami vaikunte, naham tishtami vaikunte, yoginam hridayena va, madbhakta tacha tishtami. Narada, missing a few words here, but he's saying, Lord Narayan is saying, he's telling Narada, I don't live in Vaikuntha, and I also don't live in the hearts of the yogis. But where my devotees are sitting and chanting my glories, that is where I live. That is where I live. There is something, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives a very beautiful explanation of this verse, and saying how there is something very, very attractive to the Lord when his surrendered devotees are glorifying him. Like there's no it's in a very selfless spirit. They're not like having the personal association of the Lord, but like in separation, like they have nothing, but in separation they're glorifying him, and not expecting anything. That this is very, very attractive to the Lord. That attracts him more than being like in the company of a particular devotee. But this like selfless spirit of free glorification that attracts his heart. And there's one story amongst the Alwars, the followers of the Sri Sampradaya in South India. Srila Sridhar Maharaj tells how there were like a few of them, like 2 or 3 of them, speaking in this very happy mood, glorifying the Lord, and then afterwards they all like looked at one another, and they were like, there was somebody else here, like feeling there was a 4th person there with them, and they felt the Lord was present with them when they began that glorification, and they felt his presence, that he came there. He was so pulled, he was so attracted by that. And also we can, looking at this verse, we can look like on there are 2 things here. It's like almost like an equation. Is that how you pronounce it? Equation. Okay. I was never good at maths. But like to the degree to which you surrender, to that degree you'll find this substance relishable. you'll find this tasteful. You know, that's the secret. You know, to finding, you know, satisfaction and joy. You know, taste here. You will only get that if you give yourself to it. That is the nature of this substance. You can only taste it if you offer yourself to it, because, you know, he is by himself and he is for himself. He doesn't need to prove himself to anyone. And he's not obliged to anyone. Only if someone offers themselves to him, that I exist for you, I'm coming for your interest, not for my interest, then he'll extend, you know, that real taste to you. So if we, you know, when we go through periods when we're not experiencing any taste, or we can also say it's an ongoing thing, we're not experiencing very much, then it's down to us, you know. It's a lack of surrender on our part. Then, like we can open up Bhagavad Gita and like read through some verses, and it's just a completely dry exercise, you know. Whereas Gurudev, he could be stuck on one verse, you know, for hours, or one word, you know, like that. I always think of that example in the beginning of the very first chapter of Gita, that there's one line there, not even a line, just a phrase, Bhishma me vabhirakshantu, where Duryodhana is ordering all of his troops, everybody support Bhishma. And, you know, I mean, first of all, chapter 1 we generally don't give so much attention to anyway, you know. So when what to speak of some phrase like that, it's just, you don't put any importance on it. But Srila Gurudev gave a whole talk, you know, just on that, you know, and how, you know, Bhishma, he was really, his heart was with the Pandavas. He wasn't really supporting Duryodhana, but he was obliged to support Duryodhana. And Duryodhana knew that. Duryodhana knows that Bhishma doesn't really like him, and he'd rather be with the Pandavas. However, you know, Duryodhana is like working with what he has, you know, and so he's telling everyone, like, work with Bhishma, you know, even though internally he's not so happy about Bhishma, you know, he's like, you know, he's trying to, you know, be harmonious and progressive about this, making the most of what he has, right? So Gurudev gave this whole talk about how, like, similarly in our various temples around the world, you know, persons, they may be uncomfortable, unhappy about certain, you know, leaders, managers, or whatever, you know, but that we will not go to antithesis. We will go to synthesis, you know, we will, he said, you know, we are coming from so many different backgrounds, we have many different ways of thinking, but we will try to be one in the service of Guru Maharaj, like that, you know. So maybe someone has been appointed in a particular place, and maybe you know, you're not so happy, you don't agree with many things, but for the sake of the overall harmony, you know, then, you know, we will try to harmonize like that, you know. So, like, just this very ordinary phrase in Gita, Gurudev, he drew such profound, you know, had such profound insight, and he would always say, you know, I'm always getting new light from Gita. There's a very beautiful expression of Gurudev's, maybe it's in Revealed Truth, where he says, if we really appreciate what we're receiving, what our gurus have given us, then with every word, every phrase, we will feel, my existence is here. You know? We will feel such intensity of appreciation for everything. You know, every little word, phrase, expression that we hear, we will, you know, we'll feel stunned, actually. There's such depth, you know. in everything.
Because it's so beautiful what we have gotten, right? The scriptures there. So beautiful. We have not seen that in the material world.
There's in chapter 2, there's that verse, as charge Bhagavad Gita, as charjavat pashyati kaschidinam. There's that verse saying that one who hears about the soul is astonished. One who speaks about the soul is astonished. One who experiences the soul is astonished. And there the direct connotation is the individual soul, the Atma. But Atma, as we've been hearing in the Atma Rama verse, it can also mean Krishna. It can also mean the supreme Atma, the supreme self, Krishna. And so I think it's in Loving Search, Srila Sridhar Maharaj quotes that verse, and he's saying, at every step towards him we will feel wonder. At every step towards him we will be astonished. And lastly, I'm reminded of we were discussing this verse the other day in Riga, a very famous beginning of Bhagavatam. Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhakti udhokshaje ahaituki apartihata yayatma suprasidati, saying that the supreme dharma for all souls is bhakti to the Lord. Yato bhakti udhokshaje, and here Krishna is referred to as adhokshaja. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he says that this name for the Lord is a very favorite word in Bhagavatam to describe, because the word adhokshaja means that which is beyond the jurisdiction of our senses. That's the meaning of the word adhokshaja. Or there's I can never remember, but there's one like Sanskrit definition of this word, like breaks it down in parts, and it means something like that which comes down from above and knocks down our senses, something like that. If we receive some experience of that adhokshaja plane, it will descend from above and will totally subdue our experience of the senses, because it's from such a categorically different and superior plane. So this is the meaning. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj says in Bhagavatam, this is a very favorite word to describe Krishna in Bhagavatam. Why? Because it's making this point that he's not what you think. He's not something that can be understood with your limited mind or experienced with your limited senses.
You would think if people, newcomers, beginners in spiritual life, have opened the scriptures, they would be so astonished. They would be so happy to read it, right? Like, wow, this is so beautiful, and that will catch them, no? You would think like that, no?
Sure, I agree. I have no objection here.
I know you do, and you can explain it so beautiful to us.
What's this other verse? My brain is all fuzzy. But famous verse of Srila Rupa Goswami, you know that verse, Dee. The Lord's name is Atashi Krishna Namadi. You know that verse. Atashi, you can remember the meaning. Atashi Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grajaminjayai Sevan Mukehi Jivada Swayameva Sporchida. That everything about the Lord, His name, His form, His qualities, His pastimes, they are beyond our material perception. Indriya, literally the senses. They are beyond the purview of our senses. But Sevan Mukehi Jivada Swayameva Sporchida. Through, that, however, the Lord may be attracted to reveal himself to one who has sevan mukata, mood of service attitude, service mood. Then he may be attracted to descend and reveal himself. So anyway, this verse in Bhagavatam, the supreme dharma for all souls is to render bhakti to that supreme Lord who is unknowable, to your senses at present. And then it qualifies what should be the nature of that bhakti. If yayatma suprasidati, in order to give full satisfaction to the self, for us to, for the devotee, for the bhakta to be fully satisfied in their bhakti, in the course of their bhakti, then it gives two qualifiers. What should the nature of that bhakti be? Ahaituki, apratihata. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he gives a very, the normal straight definition, which is relevant to what we're discussing here. And then Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he also gives a very deep, a deeper understanding of this. That he takes it more of a broad sense, that what is the nature of real devotion? Ahaituki, it has literally, ahaituki means no cause. In other words, no material cause. And apratihata means unstoppable. So the way that what is the nature of true bhakti? It does not have any origin in the material world, and nothing in the material world can stop it. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives this explanation of this verse, that this is that for one who has true bhakti, nothing of this world can impede them. That is the nature of devotion. It is an encouraging angle, a vision, because often we'll face different circumstances when we feel our devotional life is obstructed in some way, circumstantially speaking, by persons, by environment. But that current of bhakti, it's always flowing. So we have to find how we can align or always keep ourselves aligned in some way with that current, whether it's physically or mentally. There may be circumstances when physically we're not able to express that, but then on a more subtle level, that current is always going. So like you see in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, he faced, if anyone faced obstacles, Prahlad faced obstacles. But his, that current of devotion, it was always very strong, and his faith was always very strong, and he was always feeling and perceiving the Lord, present. So that's Srila Sridhar Maharaj's, I may be original, I don't know if anyone else has given that explanation, but very profound explanation of that verse. But the way that it's generally translated, and Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada translates it, that the nature that in order for bhakti to give full satisfaction to the self, then it must be ahaituki, without cause, means we must be offering bhakti without any material motivation. That we're not serving the Lord wanting something, that we want to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. That we are serving the Lord for the sake of serving the Lord. We are offering devotion to the Lord for the sake of offering devotion to the Lord. Nothing else. Ahaituki bhakti. Mahaprabhu also uses this phrase in the Shikshashtakam. So this is Shuddha Bhakti, right? This is Ananya Bhakti, exclusive, pure devotion. It is free from any tinge of selfish desire. So in order for bhakti to really satisfy the self on the deepest level, it must be free from any selfish motivation. And then the second qualifier, apratihata, unstoppable, means it must be performed all the time. Not just on Sundays, or not just in the morning, but whether it's mentally or verbally or physically, one must always be practicing bhakti if they want to reap the full results. If you really want to experience the joy of bhakti, then you have to give it your all. So this concept, it's also touched upon here, indirectly. That these types of souls who are fully dedicated, who their whole life is me, Krishna is saying, they get this intense type of joy, intense type of satisfaction out of that. So very, very nice verse. Makchitta madgata prana bodhayanta prasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushanti cha namanti cha. And this, speaking about the Lord, this is the essence of our whole movement and our whole practice. It's all about Harikatha and the distribution of Harikatha. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I don't recognize any other famine, other than this, the lack of Harikatha. The only problem, Srila Gurudev, he was asked once, what is the problem with the world today? And he said, misconception. That is the only problem. Misconception, lack of proper conception. So therefore, what is the highest duty? To spread proper conception, to spread proper understanding of the environment, of the self, of the true goal. This is the essence of our whole movement. Okay, we can move on to the 10th verse. And this verse also Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave very, deep explanation of, which we don't find anywhere else. So we can hear Gurudev chanting that first.
Tesang Sriyuktanang bhajatang pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam jena mam upajanti te.
Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam jena mam upayanti te. Wow, so beautiful. Very, very hopeful, very encouraging verse. Okay, you will read the translation, Radharani Devidasi.
To those devotees who are always lovingly engaged in my service, I give the divine inspiration by which they can come to me.
This verse is very, very encouraging. Yes, because, so often in our practicing life we face dilemmas, right? And the answer isn't always so clear, or the proper way to proceed, to deal with some particular situation. But here Krishna, he gives this promise here that if you're really trying to act in my interest, then dadami buddhi yogam tam, yena mam upayanti te. I'm promising you, I will give you the intelligence, I will give you the intelligence through which you can approach me, through which you can come closer to me. I am there, I'm hearing you, I'm hearing your heart, I'm hearing your call. I know you're trying to serve me, and I will show you the way. He's saying, I will show you the way. I will give you that inspiration. So we can hear, so Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives very profound this word here, upayanti, he explains it's referring to upapati, the paramour, because, all Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains, already, we're already talking about the highest section of devotees, so there's no question of them coming to Krishna. They're already with Krishna, they're already fully Krishna conscious. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains that he's referring here to Parakiya Ras, the highest relationship with Krishna. So this is that, that explanation, it's not relevant to us, rather the first one is relevant to us. But we can appreciate the ideal, to some extent. So we can hear this. Commentary. The Lord says, the highest group of my servitors, whose devotion was described in the previous verse by the word Ramanti, are those who are constantly engaged, Satata Yukta, in my service in consorthood, Madhura Ras, with heartfelt love, Bhajatam Priti Porvakam. Then he says that he will give them further inspiration or inner instruction by which they can come to him, Yena Mam Upayanti Te. When already in this and the previous verse, the devotee's service to the Lord has been described as eternal by the words Nityam and Satata Yukta, now the statement that he will give them further inspiration by which they can come to him may appear to be redundant. Therefore, in the expression Mam Upayanti Te, they will come to me, the word Upayanti must be defined as Parakiya Bhavena, Upapati. Pati means husband, and Upapati means paramour. In Vrindavan, Lord Krishna is not considered a lawful husband, but he is the Lord of the heart, transcendental to even the husband, Parakiya Ras. Deceiving their husbands, the gopis of Vrindavan unite with Krishna. They do not allow a second party to come between them and Krishna. They cannot allow the interception of social law or even scriptural regulation, because Krishna's position is absolute, and such a relationship is more relishable to him. This is Vrindavan Bhajan, and this is the meaning of Upapati. My relationship with him is independent of everything conceivable, including law, society, and the scriptures.
What means upa? Like over?
I'm not sure. I mean, that would be my guess, yeah, but I'm not a Sanskritian. It is most innate and natural, and it does not require any social or scriptural sanction. I say to them, you may show formal respect to all these restrictions and live in the society, but from the heart of your heart you are mine. This is the special inspiration and insight I give those devotees. Buddhi yogam yena mam upayanti te. Externally, there are social and scriptural demands, but my position is over and above them. Veda is my instruction for the benefit of the masses who have deviated from me. And society is also under the jurisdiction of those general... The Vedas for the delinquents. Don't take too seriously what you find everywhere in the Vedas. This is for the unsurrendered souls. Hello, welcome. No, this is for... No, those instructions are for the deviant souls. But for those who are free from any separate interest, there's no need for them to be regulated by any law. And society is also under the jurisdiction of those general instructions given to the people by me. But my divine relationship with everything is intrinsic and independent. It does not require recognition from anyone. Such a relationship is the highest. It is the constant. It supersedes all law and society which are guided by the Vedas. Rather, all the Vedas are searching for such a thing. Shruti bir vimrigyam, vishesha mrigya. The Vedas are searching after this ideal divine position. In the section of the Srimad Bhagavatam which deals with Rasa Leela, the Vedas are begging forgiveness. We are generally supposed to give tidings of you, but we could not describe you as we now experience you here. Now we understand that we have committed an offense because we could not distribute this Rasa Leela to the world. Like signposts, all the revealed scriptures are only showing the direction. But where, how, we don't know. Only He may be available in this direction. Anywhere and everywhere, everything belongs to Him. For one who knows this, all possibilities of sense pleasure and exploitation are uprooted. For example, an unmarried woman may have the possibility of being approached by many, but there is less possibility for those who are married because they are possessed by someone. Similarly, when we are able to know that everything is only for the satisfaction of Krishna, then we shall realize that all our exploiting tendencies have vanished forever. Nothing will remain to be utilized for the pleasure of our sense experience. It will be very deeply felt in our hearts that everything has its existence only for His satisfaction, and there is no room for any other exploitation. It will be very deeply felt in our hearts that everything has its existence only for His satisfaction, and there is no room for any other exploitation. We too are included there. Our existence is also only for His satisfaction. Everything is meant for His divine pastimes, Leela, and there is no possibility for any other's pastimes. All are included in that one Leela. Encroachment will disappear when we learn the proper utility of everything. He is the owner, and His ownership is absolute. The scriptures, society, and law designate this is yours, that is another's, or that belongs to a third party. This is something like a temporary lease. But the permanent ownership is in all respects with Him. All others, possessor and property, master and servant, are relative and only sanctioned by Him for the time being. He alone is the absolute owner, possessor, and enjoyer. Complete purification of our hearts is possible only when we arrive at such a conclusion. Everyone is thinking of themselves as many masters of many things, but this is all heart disease, hridrogam. This is all conceived in a diseased state of consciousness. In a healthy state, when the heart is quite wholesome, we can see the supreme whole, and we can see that everything is meant only for His satisfaction. And this same understanding is behind the purport of the Sarvadharmam Prityaja verse, the Krishna's clarion call at the end of Gita, give up everything and come to me, because, all those things that you are to give up, those are all secondary things, You may think, actually there's no question of giving up anything. That is just, a relative angle of vision. That, this duty and that duty, and I am this, I am that. But, one may think that they are sacrificing something in order to approach the Lord's cause, or one may think they are giving something up or abandoning some duty, but those are all secondary things. Those are all considerations from a very temporary and relative angle of vision. Everything is for Him, everything is from Him, everything is by Him. And actually there's no question of any duty other than what is for His satisfaction. So very beautiful and much for us to meditate upon here. Okay, well, we can finish with the Chatur Shloki. We can hear this last verse before we finish.
Teshamevanukampātham aham ajñānayam tamaha nāsvayam matma bhavastu jnanodipena bhāsvaka.
Tesham mevanukampartam aham ajñānajam tamaha nashayamyatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. Would you like to can you see?
Yeah.
Would you like to read that?
Out of compassion for them, I situated within the hearts of all living beings, dispel the darkness of ignorance with the radiance of knowledge. Shall I continue?
Yeah, sure.
Or being conquered by the love of those devotees who in their unalloyed loving devotion become afflicted by the all-devouring darkness born of their pangs of separation from me, I illuminate their hearts with my presence, destroying the darkness of their pain of separation.
So again here in this verse, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is giving more profound insight, because the question, this is the direct understanding that I will, remove the darkness of ignorance from the hearts of my devotees. But then, of course, as Srila Sridhar Maharaj points out, this is not consistent, because already the devotees being referred to, they are of the highest level. They're fully liberated, fully surrendered souls. And there's no question of them having ignorance, actually, in the ordinary sense. They're already on the highest level of devotion. And so therefore, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he gives this deeper understanding that this agyan, this tamaha, this ignorance, the darkness of ignorance, what's being referred to is the pain of separation that the devotees feel. Mm-hmm. And we see that there's a few places in the scriptures where we see that the pain that is felt in the hearts of devotees in separation from the Lord, it's compared to a type of ignorance, it's like a type of blindness, darkness that they experience. There's also a verse of the Braja Gopis in Bhagavatam. How does it go, that verse? A very famous verse. Tavakatam ritam tapta jivanam kavibir iditam kalma safam shavana mangalam shrimadatam uvigrinanti je parida janaha, where the gopis in separation from Krishna, they're speaking the glories of Harikatha, discussion about Krishna, and saying how it removes all sin, all darkness, all ignorance. So then one may say, these are the Braja Gopis, these are the highest devotees of Krishna. They don't have ignorance, they don't suffer the pain of the material, the tapta jivanam, this burning of material existence. They don't experience that, but they do experience, the burning of the pain of separation in their divine love for Krishna. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives this deeper understanding here that when his devotees are like at their last point, they cannot bear the Lord's separation anymore because of their deep love, then he comes to reassure them, to extend his presence to their hearts. Yes, I am here, I am with you. And gives some revelation of himself. So we can, this is quite long, maybe I've kind of explained. Srila Sridhar Maharaj gives this very nice example of Shachi Devi. She's the mother of Lord Chaitanya, and so she's living at home, always thinking of Mahaprabhu, of Lord Chaitanya, and feeling the intensity of separation from him, and she's cooking for him. She's preparing his favorite dishes, and then she's crying because he's not here. Like a mother in the world, cooking. All mothers can relate to this. Cooking, thinking of their beloved child, and then but they're not with them, and they're cooking their favorite dishes, but their child is not there. Then they're crying. So Mother Shachi Devi, she's experiencing this, but Mahaprabhu, feeling that need of her heart, he personally appears there, and he eats those things. It said that daily he would do this, and then to reciprocate with that need of her heart, then he would appear there and give his connection to her. So when the devotees are at that point of the most intense need, then the Lord, he always appears and gives revelation of himself to his devotees. So suddenly Lord Chaitanya came and began to eat. Shachi Devi explained, "Oh, Nimai is eating." And for the time being, her separation was relieved. Moments later, she reconsidered, "Did I see Nimai eating? But now he is a sannyasi in Jagannath Puri, so how could he have come here? Did I serve him? There must be a mistake." And Srila Sridhar Maharaj also gives this explanation. Normally we think of Parakiya as referring to the relationship in Madhura Ras, that the Braja Gopis experience. But this word Parakiya, it means another's. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains that this mood actually pervades all the relationships in Vrindavan. So he gives the example, Krishna's friends in Sakya Ras, they also have this mood, like this doubt. Oh, we think of Krishna as our friend, but sometimes we're hearing about all his connections in Mathura. Maybe we're going to lose him, and Mother Jashoda is thinking, he's my son, but some people say he's Devaki's son, So all of the relationships in Vrindavan, they have this mood, like some anxiety, we can lose him at any time. Does he really belong to me? So this uncertainty, it intensifies the relationship. When you feel that you can lose something at any moment, then you're really considering it very precious and you're holding on to it. So this mood, it pervades, all the relationships in Vrindavan. The friends of Krishna sometimes say, some people say that Krishna is a resident of Mathura. They say he's the son of Vasudeva and he will soon go to Mathura. They say he is not our friend. Will we really lose his company? Then how will we be able to live in this jungle and herd the cows? They experience this apprehension. We may lose him at any time. This intensifies their friendly service to him. And then also Mother Jashoda. Okay. Well, I think we can stop there. This verse is very, very beautiful, describing Krishna, the human-like expression of the Absolute as the highest. Krishner jateka kela sarvatamanar lilanar vapu tahara swarup gopa vesh venukar navakishor natavar nar lila hoy anurup. The highest form of God, this charming, very charming and heart-capturing expression of divinity. This is supreme. This is the highest. The highest form of Godhead is Krishna, who plays in his eternal divine pastimes like a human being. An ever youthful cowherd boy of Vrindavan, the best of dancers, he enjoys his pastimes, always playing his flute. His beauty is so charming and sweet that the whole universe is flooded by even the tiniest atom of it, and all beings are attracted irresistibly to him. He is approachable by all. We can find God nearest of all in a human feature. It has been explained how Krishna's form of human feature is the highest form of the Absolute. According to the calculation of ecstasy, rasa, which is the common standard of measurement of the whole scope of the infinite. So this point of rasa is very significant because this is the calculation by which it is determined Krishna is the highest, because the rasa is more developed. So Lord Narayan, he's a superior figure. He's got 4 arms, and he's very majestic. He's much more godlike. But actually, if one examines from the angle of rasa, the rasa is lacking. He doesn't have any parents. So that type of relationship is not possible. That type of loving exchange is not possible. Lord Narayan doesn't have girlfriends. He only has one wife. So the rasa is very limited. But with Krishna, that is available with innumerable, unlimited number of persons. So it is very broad, very expansive. And with Lord Narayan, intimacy is not possible because he's such a grand and majestic figure. But with Krishna, his friends, they can jump on his shoulders, they can wrestle with him, they can play with him. So again, the rasa is more developed there. Okay. Oh, we can stop there. Any comments or questions or anything?
Everything is so beautiful, we cannot stop.
Okay. Satyajit, would you like to sing? We're going to sing Hari one song.
60. Hari Haraya Namah Krishnaya Radhavaya Namah.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namah.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govindaya Srimadhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Priya Chaitanya.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhattara Gunata Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Gunata Eshai Gosai Kodi Charana Vandana Jaha hoite Vignana Samista Purana Eshai Gosai Jar Muita Dadasa Panchabada Padadinu Mura Panchagrasa Kajera Charana Sebi Bhakta Sane Basa Janame Janame Mohe Abhilasha Eshai Gosai Jade Braje Koino Basa Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Kodila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Amana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kodiyasha Hari Nam Sankirtan Torhe Narottama Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai.
Jaya Samarka Sisi Guru Guranga Radhagir Jaya Chuki
Jai.
Jaya Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Nirmala Jaya Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Jaya Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Suna Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Jaya Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Rakak Sila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Jaya Vishnupad Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki
Jai.
Jaya Sri Rupa Nugaku Vaka Ki
Jai.
Jaya Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki
Jai.
Jaya Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Jaya Prince Tusi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Galadhara Srivasadi Sri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Jaya Tulasi Narayana Ki
Jai.
Jaya Ganga Yamuna Ji Ki
Jai.
Jaya Kwamra Srimad Bhagavatam Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Sri Bhagavad Gita Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Navadvitam Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Mayapudam Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Vrindavanam Ki
Jai.
Sri Purushottamadam Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswatmat Ki
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswatmat London Chapter Ki
Jai.
Jai Samveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki
Jai.
Jai Vishakha Devidasi Ki
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan Ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanand
Hari Bol.